welcome everybody. It's your boy, Versace Stoner. We're in another episode of VSW Podcast, and we got a big one for you folks. We got, a real true veteran in this industry. Someone that's been around, someone that's been here, someone that you can call up and say, hey, you need something to do this weekend, and they'll actually show up. It's the one and only Rob Roberts. Welcome to the show, brother.
What's up, Versace? How's it like? How's life? How's it hanging?
Hanging, it's hanging, it's hanging, it's going. Things are going. It's summer. I love this type of weather, It finally isn't cold anymore. I can wear normal clothes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, no. But a lot of people, like I said, you're one of those reliable folks. Someone can call upon Rob Roberts, and if you can make it, you'll be there to work.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. If I can make it, I'll be there to work. Absolutely.
And you still have friends in the industry that will someday say, "Hey, yo, we need somebody. Hey, yo, we need a ref. Hey, yo, we need a spot."
Yeah.
And you're reliable like that. And
yes,
I mean, granted,
yes, I am.
Your last few years haven't really been lucrative, we'll say.
No, absolutely not.
I think your last serious run was probably the Liberty City's champion, right?
Yeah, Sons of Liberty champion. Yep. Yes.
That was probably your most last legit run. I know you've done other things and other promotions and played around here and there, but before all that bullshit, before all of the bad names and all the talk,
yep.
you were part of a thriving wrestling industry at a time that New England started to get noticed.
Yep. Yes, I was.
When you started wrestling, you started for what? ACW, right?
No, Yankee Pro actually.
Yankee Pro first.
Yeah, Yankee Pro first.
And then Dave kind of scooped you from there.
Well, I was still working for Yankee here and there. I did other companies. ACW was a company after. I was still dipping back and forth. Big deal. Everybody.
But Yankee was your home. Yankee Pro was your home.
Is my home, my training facility. They were located down the bluffs in New Bedford, Mass, when I first started. It used to be an old fish plant or like a freezer. It just broke down, and they used it for a wrestling training facility.
Now, who was running that? Who was the promoter at the time?
Joe Eugenio, actually. Joe Eugenio.
Really?
Joe Eugenio. Yes.
He's still alive. Is he still alive today?
Yeah. He just did a podcast with Showcase actually, with Vega and Chris.
You know what? You're right. I remember that. They were talking about that. They brought him on.
Yes, they did.
I saw that episode.
Yeah. So did I. I sat there and listened. Absolutely.
Well, I mean, why not? I mean, like you said, it's your home thing, and I mean, I know Top Rope kind of picked up the pieces.
Yeah. It was a deal with Steve Ricard and Joe.
They worked it out. Now, did you end up when that deal happened? Did you end up doing some work for
Yes,
Top
I
Rope
did.
Too?
Yes, I have. I have videos that said Top Rope Promotions too.
So, I mean, you worked under Steve Ricard. You worked under those people at that time in the era. I know the training changed.
I did.
There's different bookers. Everything's kind of, the South Shore used to be very unified. Now it's kind of diverse. Everybody kind of started their own brand and went full steam ahead.
Yes, they did. Yeah. Yes, they did.
Which is nice, though, because you have a lot. You got Teddy Goods running in New Bedford. You got, Showcase. I mean, I'm not sure. You got Top Rope running in Fall River. You got... You got what's the other one? Indie Super Show there. You got that running in Brock.
You have Davey Cash's company running out of New Bedford too.
So you got about 4 really strong promotions running on that South Shore compared to the 2 that used to just be running.
Yeah, just 2 back in the day. Just 2.
Well,
Yankee and Top Rope combined. It was there was the Yankee. Then South Coast Championship Wrestling. Then they turned into Top Rope afterwards. The South Coast was almost like a hardcore company. They did hardcore matches. I was involved a couple of times.
So Yankee Pro was more kind of like that
Yeah, more
attitude era time.
Yankee and Top Rope were more my homes.
But would you say you were saying like Yankee Pro was more at the time more hardcore? They were using
Yeah.
more of the kind of attitude style era.
Yeah, attitude. It was during the Attitude Era. I started in '95. It was during the Attitude Era.
You started training in '95?
Yeah, '95.
Shit,
Right out of high school.
I was watching HBK come out with Pamela Anderson, and there you are training to be the next, world champion. I love it.
Yeah, don't go that far, please. Never a world champion. Well,
Well, no, but at the time when you were going into it, the sky was the limit.
yeah, absolutely. I did judo first too. I did martial arts before all that. So it intertwines with the whole wrestling thing, you know. But the wrestling,
I was talking to someone last week. You might see him around. He's a wrestler, the politician. You
yeah,
know,
I
he actually, he had his, black belt in judo. He did all these martial arts, taekwondo,
yep.
everything, and then he was like, you know what? I think I'll hop into pro wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
So you hopped in right out of high school. At that time, the age
Yep.
limit, I think, was what, 16 to start or 15 to start?
Yeah, 15. But I was like 19, turning almost 20. So I was a legal adult to sign. I signed my own shit.
You were in high
I
school
was
at the
sitting
age
with.
of 20?
Yep, I could. Yeah, absolutely, I could. Yeah.
No, I mean you were still in high school at 20?
No, 19. I graduated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say you stayed back a couple years
No,
to be 20. Shit.
Yankee. I stayed back when I was in like elementary and all that crap. But whatever.
Yeah.
It's
No,
what it
no.
is.
Oh, 19 is one thing, but 20 is a whole different story.
Yeah, a whole different story. That's a whole different story.
Um, but yeah, but any which way, the passion was there, and
Yeah.
you went to the school. It was near your house, I take it.
No, actually, story time. Okay, I was like out of high school. I didn't know what to do. I found judo at a YMCA in Fall River, Massachusetts. I know the head sensei. He was. I walk in. I was still lifting weights at the time. I was still. Now I'm just a frail old man. Not frail, but old. And I was walked in. There was a basketball game there, and the guy who was one of the head senseis, he walks up to me. I don't know who this guy was. I was like, oh, hi. And he says, "Hey, you ever think about doing judo?" I said, "I don't know." He said, "Just come down, try it out." So I did. Hey, then I was doing wrestling training at the same time. I was bouncing back and forth from to judo and wrestling. So I was still active between the both.
And that's the beauty, I think, of being that.
I
If you
was
think
training
back, I
and
mean,
doing judo, so whatever. I was
granted,
getting both trainings.
and that, but like I think that's the beauty of it, of being 20 again or 21 again.
Yeah,
If you
absolutely,
think
yeah.
about it, I know there's people that are in their 40s that are very on shape, and they're very you wouldn't know that their age, and there's people in their 60s the same way. But
Yeah,
there's just something about being younger when you have all that energy that you start to lose as you get older, to be able to do all these different things simultaneously.
yeah, absolutely, yes.
But
Yes.
you did it. You did it. And you got through. Like you said, you went through the judo. You did the pro wrestling. You started to
Yeah,
train there, and then they started to use you. You started to have matches. Do you
yeah,
remember your
pretty
first
much,
match?
yeah. The guys liked me. My first match was against Big Daddy Kahuna, who is Little Danny Bravo's father, actually. So, and he did with Big Daddy Kahuna. So I was nervous. I thought he was going to kill me. So, but no, everybody liked how I wrestled because I can. I was very. People say I'm very light on my feet for an older guy.
And I can even imagine them being younger. You have,
Yeah,
you were more agile and such. And that's the thing. I
yeah,
mean, if you're trying to define your career by the last few years, it doesn't do you no justice. Things haven't been
no,
really kosher. You haven't even,
nope,
and most of the matches haven't even taken place in a real ring.
no. Some of them, no.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's not a true testament of what your wrestling capability could and will
No,
be.
no. very
Under the
cool.
right circumstances, I still think you have, a great run in you to still continue to go forward, and make some waves and make some moves. I know
Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
as
I
easy,
think
but
I still have it in me. Obviously, I would love to. Yeah, come on, please. Anybody out there, please.
and like I said, under the right circumstances,
Yeah, under the
I
right
don't think
circumstances.
you need. I think you need something with no nonsense because you've been around it. You just know what you have
Yeah,
to do.
yeah,
Give you the spot, go in, do it, and get out,
yeah.
and that's
I don't
it.
know, please. Yep.
No time for bullshit and chitter chatter and all that comes along with it. No politicking in the back.
Nope.
Just a
Nope.
straight, here we go.
Yep.
But yeah,
Absolutely.
when I first was introduced to, like I said, I tried to find some footage. I found a few matches here and there, but
Oh, jeez.
unfortunately, I feel like when you started in your era of wrestling, video wasn't that big.
No, it
It's
wasn't.
not like
No, it
today,
wasn't. Not
you
like
know.
today. All VCR tapes. There are some out there of me on them. Some of the boys still have them to this day with me
You know,
on them.
and that's the thing. Like some of the bigger promotions they had, bigger cameras, better cameras. When
Yeah,
things went to YouTube and such, they were able to upload. But if they didn't, they're sitting somewhere in a vault somewhere on a VHS, and it's like
yeah.
we can't see them.
No,
And that's one thing
unfortunately.
I'm sad about the indie industry on that level is that there's all these missing gaps on all these old promotions. Somebody
Yeah,
somewhere though does have the footage, of course, because everybody films their show. Nobody usually runs a show without filming it. You need
yeah.
to
No shit.
liability. Something happens, you need to be able to go
Yeah.
back and be like, "Yo, that wasn't my fault."
No, that wasn't
Um,
my fault.
but I would love to see some of those old matches with you in just because I've heard stories of how you were. You were wild back then. You were wild
Dude,
cat.
yeah. I was just a wild man. I was a wild man. Oh, I was
You
young. What
know.
do you expect? Yeah.
And then that was kind of what the gimmicks were back there, just wild, crazy. What can I do just to go nuts?
Yeah, pretty much.
You had people were looking up to an ECW, or they were coming out with Singapore canes, smashing beer
Yep.
on their head.
Yeah.
WWE had middle fingers and everything
Yeah.
else.
Yep. Yeah. Everything
Everything was
else.
just running rampant. As
Yeah, it
far as
was.
the wow factor.
Yep.
And
WCW
then
had all their stuff.
when hardcore hit, it's like, okay, what can we do next? What can we do as
Oh, yeah. Yeah. What we can do next? What can we top that? What we can top this?
yeah,
Which way
how can we
do you
do it
want to
so we
do
can
this?
do it but nobody dies?
Yeah.
And I think, everybody wanted a spot. And back then, nobody knew anything about safety. Chair shots were fucking chair
Yeah.
shots.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Yes.
You're getting rocked. You're getting
Yeah.
rocked.
Yeah. I got rocked. I've been rocked before. I've been rocked with titles too. I take it flush. I don't care. Back.
No,
Oh,
but
fuck.
but but
But
nowadays,
I've been hit before over the head and all that crap.
but
Like,
nowadays people learn that that there's other ways to do it. Protect your head. This can cause this
yeah,
X amount Y
yeah.
Z. So you do things differently. But back then,
They don't
nobody
do.
knew. People did these dives, and you see some of the heroes that you have, your legends. Some of them we lost too young. Some of them aren't in good shape,
No,
and
unfortunately.
that's all because they risked and they gave their bodies up to this industry.
Yep.
Um, Now I know growing up, you were probably you were a big Hogan fan.
Oh, of course. Who wasn't a big Hogan fan, but during my era? Who wasn't a
And
big
that's the
Hogan
thing,
fan?
I talk to a lot of people and they're like, fuck Hulk Hogan, fuck Hulk Hogan. Well, okay, yeah, you want to talk about the last 20 years of Hulk Hogan and say fuck Hogan, fine, fuck Hulk Hogan.
Yeah,
To me,
whatever.
Hulk Hogan ended when WWF ended.
Yeah,
A lot of wrestlers ended when WWF ended for me. I never looked at things beyond that. WWE became something different, even more than it was already becoming.
yeah,
But
absolutely.
when we were a kid, we didn't know what people did behind the scenes. We didn't know what kind of life
No,
they lived. We didn't know who they were when that camera was off. All we knew was what they were,
yeah,
and that was these larger than life characters. Hulk Hogan being one of them. I mean, it was hard not to see this guy anyway. He was on magazine covers. He's in movies. His figures, toys, posters.
everywhere.
Um,
He was everywhere.
he was an American icon.
Yeah, he was. Absolutely, he was.
And so he grabbed a whole generation of people to want to go into that ring.
Yep. Yes, he did.
And I've seen the inspiration in you. So I've seen you drop some pretty good leg drops.
Thank you.
Your leg
Thank
drop
you.
is nasty. You can get really high
Yeah.
too. You get good height.
Yeah, I know.
And like I said, that's always it's always good to have like I said, our inspiration. But you also have taken things on your own. It's not like you go out there and you copied anybody. Your characters, I feel, for the most part, have been original.
Yeah.
You've done, back in the day, you were just Rob Roberts or whatever. But
Yep.
when you were doing the Trash Man gimmick, that was
Oh, yeah,
original.
that
There
was
wasn't nobody else doing that.
no. It was a tag team thing with another partner of mine named Joe. He was the original. Everybody thought I was. No, he is. We became a tag team. We did a House of Bricks match in front of Axis Smash of Demolition. Okay. After our match, Demolition came over and told us that was a really good tag team match, and they liked it. They actually liked it. I was like, holy crap! To hear from them two saying that, oh, good tag team, that was really good. I'm like, oh, thank you. I, yeah, I used to watch you when I was a kid. I marked out because obviously, you used to watch them. They're cool,
You
nice
see,
guys.
let's face it. Even as a pro wrestler, even getting booked or paid to work the show, you still mark out when these
Oh,
superstars that you grew
of
up
course. You're
watching. You
always
see,
gonna have. There's always that little kid in you. You're like, hi, how are you? I used to, it's like, what the fuck? Obviously, every
um,
you can't if you're not gonna be impressed. Like you're not gonna be like, oh my god, hi. There's nothing. Like it's whatever.
it brings that kid, like you said, right back
Yeah, it
out
brings
into
that kid out in you. It's the truth. It's
you're right
awesome.
back to watching it and marking out all
Yeah.
of these guys.
Uh, like holy shit.
And you see it all the time when people go down to Florida to go to Hogan's Beach Shop. They'll mark out
Yeah, I
like
want to at least make it because I have an autograph here of King Kong Bundy that I actually met on a show. I actually was booked on the same show Bundy was on.
Oh, nice, nice. You need to
Yeah,
get
that was
Hogan to
really
sign the other
cool.
half.
Yeah. I was like, oh shit. I was like, hi, Mr. Bundy. He said, please call me Chris. I was like, okay. Hi, Chris. He
Yeah,
was
see,
wicked dope. He was a really nice guy. Wicked cool. Wicked
I
cool.
have Hogan's autograph. I actually have it to WrestleMania 7. I need
Oh, that's
Slaughter's
cool.
auto. I need Slaughter to sign the other side of it though. And every time
Yeah.
he's come into town, I've missed him. So I've been waiting and watching because when he comes in, I want him to sign that other half. That was one of
Hmm.
my favorite WrestleManias, that WrestleMania 7, because that's around. I mean, granted I watched wrestling a lot earlier than that, even as early as probably WrestleMania 2. I started to see some
I remember
matches.
when they first came out with WrestleMania. I used to watch it on closed circuit TV. I had to get up and change the channel. I'm like, oh,
You know,
WCW, oh, old school WCW is on. Okay, let's see what channel. Oh, TBS. Okay, no problem. That's how
yeah,
old.
but it was spotty. It was
Yeah,
spotty.
yeah.
It was spotty at best in what I could watch on TV because I didn't have these cable accesses. I didn't know about that. So what I would do is go to the video store and rent videos. Watch WrestleMania 5, watch
Of course, of
WrestleMania
course.
4,
Yep.
um, watch WrestleMania 6.
I used to do the same thing.
When 7 came out, though, it was different. At that point, now I was a little bit older. I started to get involved in going to shows. I remember they brought us to a house show that was leading up to that 7, and we got to see Hogan versus Slaughter right on that house show.
Oh, that's
Right
cool.
in Little Worcester, Massachusetts. Out comes fucking Hulk Hogan. You're just like, oh my god.
Yeah, I remember we went to the Boston Garden, and it was him when he was feuding with Undertaker, and I was a little kid.
91.
Yeah, so mom brought
And you
me.
got to see those shows. I tell you, that's another guy that came out there, and my goodness, everybody was quiet then. 90
Yeah, oh my God.
when Undertaker used to come out back in the day, people were scared. He was
Yeah.
dragging someone
I
away
thought it
in a
was
body
cool as
bag.
fuck. I've always
But
liked Undertaker. Undertaker's, the man. Sorry,
but the
the man.
original Undertaker was so dark and like he didn't
Yeah, oh,
talk.
yeah,
Nobody knew
yeah. He was
anything.
spooky.
You
The
just had
original
Paul
Undertaker.
Bearer, who was wild,
Hmm.
and then he was dragging people away in that body bag. It was
Yep,
wild to see that, but it
yep.
started to bring in horror characters. Started to bring in
Hmm.
someone that wasn't really into wrestling at that point. None of the other characters are really dark. You had every other kind of character, but a dark character,
Hmm.
and he would spawn that to kind of bring these people in. Then you would get other people like, my favorite was, later on when you had the whole Ministry of Darkness, the whole
Hmm.
little satanic cult kind of running, and he was the leader, and it worked.
Yeah, not the corporate ministry. I didn't really like that.
No,
It
that was
was
a
just,
little
it
weird when
was
it
different.
switched over. It was like, really, he's gonna sell out? Like,
Yeah, man, why?
but it was also, a way for Vince and everybody that was running the company to kind of get in on the major storylines. And that's the thing. At that time, Vince was in almost every major storyline because he was feuding with
Yeah, he
Austin.
was. Because he was feuding with Austin, and he was the
And
owner.
the owners fighting main events. And it's like, looking back at it, at the time, I'll say it was impressive and cool. But looking back at it, thinking about everything, it's like, oh, that's kind of
Uh-huh.
cringy. He pulled that spot
Yeah,
away
yeah,
from
yeah. It's like,
who?
you, okay.
You know, he, he could have brought in Goldberg for crying out loud and had him feud with him.
Yeah, no shit, right?
If he was gonna buy WCW anyways, buy one of their wrestlers at that point. Don't, steal, a year worth of our time feuding with them. But we got good matches, and Attitude Era was a
Yeah.
fine time. People glorify it. It worked for its time that it worked, and that was the time when the fan base that they had originally gotten from those Hogan days were at a
Uh-huh.
mature age level.
Yeah, they were. We were.
You know,
Yes, we were.
and then they started to do a reset. Basically, they're like, okay, well now they're parents and this and that, and
But
you know
yeah,
what?
the kids, well, let's go PG.
And and let's go back, and that's fine. That's what WWE has become.
Hmm.
There's
But
other
now it's,
there's other promotions for other things. You want to watch something with a lot of blood and guts, and watch GCW.
yeah.
You can watch that anytime, and you'll have exciting death matches.
Oh, jeez.
You want to watch something else that might be up on par, great wrestling, but maybe a little less production. Watch AEW.
Uh, I scoped out their YouTube stuff. I scope them out and stuff like that. Edge
You know,
and them are doing really well out there, huh?
hmm?
Edge and all them are doing very good out there.
Who?
Edge and AEW
Oh
and all
yeah,
that.
yeah. AEW is a fine promotion. I don't
Hmm.
follow what goes on social media with people
Yeah, I
bickering
do
and that.
sometimes. I'll watch it here and there, catch up
Oh, I
on
watch
stuff.
it all. I just don't follow along what the people say about the bullshit. There's a lot of
Yeah,
bullshit
that
being
whatever.
said.
I don't follow all that crap. It's all negative bull crap. Then I don't need it.
Wrestling fans are never those mainstream wrestling fans are never happy, Rob. But
Yeah, I know.
let me
Whatever.
ask you though. You worked a lot of guys back in the day. Was there anybody that was really notable then that you remember working, being like, "Oh shit"?
Well, Richie Rich, we will count him in Showcase Pro Wrestling.
As a guy, he faced Bret Hart on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, yeah, he did. He wrestled Owen and all that. I wrestled against Rick Fuller. He wrestled against Goldberg during his undefeated streak. While Rick Fuller was there, I was doing the job for him in Yankee.
So you wrestled a couple known jobbers.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, if you want to
But
call
at
him
the
that, yeah.
time, we won't call them jobbers. They're enhancement
Yeah,
talent.
yeah. Enhancement talent. Can't call him that no more. But whatever.
And to be
Back then,
honest, though,
they were called that.
it's important. It's an important role though, because
Hmm.
without that, it's like when you used to watch a Monday Night Raw, it used to be about an hour long, and you would have just enhancement talent versus the main roster, enhancement talent
Hmm.
versus the main roster.
Yep.
And it was nice flow, and the main roster would almost always win, except the time they brought the 1, 2, 3 kid in, because nobody knew that he was a wrestler, and he
Yeah,
snuck right
yeah.
through. he beat Razor Ramon,
Yep.
and they were like, "Oh my God, the kid did it!"
Yeah, no shit. That was cool.
And then they brought him in. They gave him a contract. He's a 1-2-3
Yeah.
kid, and the rest
Yeah.
is history. But he had already
Mm-hmm.
been on the scene a little bit prior to that. He'd been working, but you know, um, it wasn't things weren't leaked like they were said. People were able to have surprises. But
Yeah.
I feel like now today's shows it's just superstar versus superstar, which is nice
Mm-hmm.
in some ways, but in other ways, there's no difference between watching a Monday Night Raw and watching a pay-per-view.
Yeah. Yeah. This is true.
It's the same. It's the same. Sometimes in length, but that's the mainstream wrestling. On the indie scene, I feel like it's different because you got your shows once a month.
Yeah.
Sometimes more. You were working at Showcase. They run a little bit different. Don't they do like one show at the training facility, then one show out?
Yeah. And they travel Attleboro and all that stuff. But now it's just Taunton. They do Taunton, Massachusetts at the VFW Hall. They do their March anniversaries there. Um, Mainly it's Woonsocket because they do one show a month at the training facility. Sometimes two, but during the summer they don't do it because it gets hot in there. It gets
Oh,
hot in
I
that
bet.
facility. Dude, you have no idea. No
Oh, I
freaking
do.
idea.
I was at the H2O Center for the IWTV 100 up in almost in Pennsylvania, and it was kind of similar to that, a big garage, and they just shut the doors, and it was a hot summer day, and it got about 150 indoor. People were
Holy
cooking and
crap!
roasting alive. Um,
Wow.
you know, but and the poor wrestlers, you had Wheeler Yuta and Daniel Garcia having a 1 hour Iron Man match, and the
Wow.
sweat is dripping down people's faces.
Oh, jeez.
Water's evaporating as it comes out the bottle. It was a fucking hot day. But yeah,
Wow.
I believe me, I know how it can be. And there's not even any way to open those doors up like that. It's just that one door.
No, unfortunately, those doors are not the greatest in the world. The only
But
the only place that's really cool enough is downstairs in the basement.
now let me ask you, when did you decide to you were doing Rob Roberts, you're doing all these other
Yeah.
gimmicks. When did you decide to say, you know what, I want to do something totally different? And you brought out Mr. Pickles. When did you decide to do that?
Here's that story. Okay. Mr. Pickles evolved from when I was 16 years old. I worked at the PAL haunted house where now Top Rope's running out of their training
Oh, so the
facility.
pal, the
PAL.
pal hall,
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
pal hall.
PAL hall. Yeah. I was volunteering for their haunted houses. I saw it in a newspaper. I was like, okay, this is when I first moved to Fall River, when I was moving from Brockton to Fall River. And I saw it in a newspaper. I was like, oh, volunteers needed for a haunted house. I was like 16, turning 17. It said 16 and over. I was like, ooh. I was like, okay, cool. I'm just 16. I can do this. And that I needed my mom's permission at the time because I was only 16. She gave it to me. She said, go, have fun. Bye. I'm like, all right, bye. And it evolved from that to what it is now.
But at some point, you decide to take it from that and bring it into the
Yeah, from
ring.
that, the whole story. The original character was a silent horror clown named
Because you later
Fago.
worked,
Because
you stuck with kind of working in haunted houses for a little bit, right?
yeah, for a while I worked at PAL, then I worked at Dr. Terror's Fright Factory, which is Factory of Terror now, the one in Fall River. I
Yeah.
worked at the Asylum Horror, was not that far away. I worked at 13th World up in Cumberland. That's where the clown got discovered. Because the clown evolved from the asylum. I stopped him for a while because I didn't have all the means to get all the costume. I always wanted to transform the clown into wrestling, but I didn't know how to do it. So I was stuck for a while, blah, blah, blah. So then I worked at 13th World. I was still doing Rob Roberts. I was kind of doing referee. I wasn't too happy doing referee stuff because I was getting older and a lot of injuries, whatever. So And I was like, okay, whatever. So I found 13th World, the haunted house. I was like, okay. They had the clowns. I said, ooh, okay. So now I can bring my clown into the haunted house again, work on that, maybe make something spark. So I was training, coming back to training for showcase off an injury, and I was just stuck between a gimmick. I was still the trash man, but yeah, I was like, I'm getting sick of that. I loved it, but I'm just, no, I don't want to be the
It
trash man.
wasn't you. It was you weren't. I mean, I always been told, a wrestler or the character should be an extension of yourself. But if
Yeah,
you were this, if you're telling me most of your life you've worked haunted houses and horror, then it only
yep,
makes sense for you to play a horror character.
yeah. It made perfect sense. So one of the head trainers came through. We talked way before. We don't. It's a story. I don't want to get into it. But yeah, we were friends. He came through, right? I told my them I was allowed to have free like invite people like guests. I was allowed guests, at least 5 guests. So he had his wife, and his son, and a friend of mine. My we didn't become uh uh he was going he was just a friend. We didn't plan on the whole thing. So he found out that I was a clown. He was really like, he didn't know where I was, but he know I worked there. So he hit me up and said, like, listen, Rob, well, I'll give you money. I was like, dude, he gave me $80, bro.
For what?
But just to let him in on guest.
Like you wanted this
Just
to accompany you to the ring? What do you want to
no,
do?
no, no. It's during the haunted house.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the whole Mr. Pickles thing. Okay. He saw me. I scared the fuck out of everybody because they didn't realize it was fucking me until I spoke and said something. They didn't realize what I was until they saw the clown. They didn't see me. And some of them were afraid of clowns too. And I scared the shit out of all of them. All of them. All of them. So I guess he mentioned it to Chris and Vega at the time, and they let me introduce the clown. Now, he didn't have a name at the time, but he did all these vignettes. It was really dope. We didn't have a name. So
As
my
far
friend
as
Chris,
as far as I was told, Chris loved the character, Vega loved the
yeah,
character,
everybody loves.
everybody loved his
I
character.
love the character. Obviously, I love my character,
And I
and
mean, obviously they believed in you. They put the title on you.
yeah, obviously, and then
Uh,
the whole story is that they let me run it, right. I was just wearing a black mask at first. You can see my eyes and everything. And something black. I was like, no, I need something. And I found 2 outfits downstairs in the basement. On luck, 2 clown outfits. I was like, ooh. I was like, Chris, can I have these? He's like, yeah, have fun. So I altered. They were a little bit bigger, right? And I was like, all right. So I ripped the black and red ones that I have. You've seen them.
yeah.
That's the original Mr. Pickles outfit. So that
Nice.
that ran for a while. I got masked off my friend Chris. He was my manager at the time too with Showcase. Christopher Hades,
Yeah.
you know. And then it ran its course, bro. Ran its course. And it's still kind of running a little bit here and there, but not much. But I'm gonna bring it back. I want to bring Pickles back.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, then you took off from there. Then you kind of were
Yep.
doing the whole other thing going here and
The
there and
whole other
everywhere.
thing, and I
You
got
had the
involved with stupid
JWO
shit.
running, and you had a tag partner, and it worked for that, because I'm clowns and clowns, because you're a
Yep.
real life ICP fan too.
Yes, I am. Whoop whoop.
Um,
All day, every day.
and so it works into that. But But then it's kind of like now it's like everything's just in show. So it's like, but you got to try to kind of. I think you have a good serious chance with that character.
Yeah.
You know, it captivates people. A clown captivates people. I think it's one of the perfect horror characters because either A, you enjoy it, or B, you're definitely afraid of it.
And
That's like
a lot of people, are definitely afraid of it. And I
there's a
like
lot of
that because
phobias
I
over
run off.
clowns.
I'm like, ooh, come here, hi.
You can play with the crowd great. You can scare the
Oh
older
yeah,
people, the younger people, the kids, everybody.
yep.
You can work them. And
It's
you
so
can use a
much
lot of the
fun.
same, in your entrances and stuff, and the way you make yourself, known. You can use a lot of the work that you did in those haunted houses. You can use
Oh
a lot of
yeah,
those same
absolutely.
techniques and effects, and then just add your wrestling. Plus,
hmm
you're a clown. You don't have to go, balls to walls off the
Oh
top
no,
rope.
absolutely not. Yep.
You're a deranged serial killing clown. You're gonna fight like a clown would fight. Um,
Absolutely.
and that kind of,
Minus
to
the
be honest,
serial
that
killer.
kind
I'm
of
not
fits.
serial killer. Just kidding.
But that kind of fits you, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It fits
yeah,
you. You're
yeah,
not a
yeah,
high
absolutely.
flyer right now.
No.
You're not able to
Well,
fucking do.
I could pull off like a splash off the second rope and all that shit, but big
Yeah,
deal.
but you're not. What I'm saying is, you're not running off the top of the,
No, fuck
jumping,
that.
climbing
No,
ropes, flipping, doing backflips,
no,
splashes. Those days are done.
no, no. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
God forbid you get injured. Now it's going to take forever to fucking.
hmm
And that
Forever the
becomes
heel.
a risk factor. You got to look at that. Is this worth me getting injured and maybe ending my career? Maybe I'm not able to do other work either because now I fucking can't move,
Yeah,
paralyzed or
yeah. Fuck
worse.
that. No, no, thank you.
As you get older, unfortunately, recovery times do take longer and things
Oh yeah,
break easier.
absolutely. Oh yeah, absolutely.
But like I said, I've seen you work your magic. I've seen you do things that it was quite impressive for the age. You gave one hell of a death match with
Yeah.
TJ.
Thank you.
That
Thank
was
you.
fun.
Yeah,
Was that
that
your
was.
first time working with Les?
Yeah.
Like you said, the light good?
No, no, no. Second time
No.
in ACW, we worked with the glass too. We suplexed the
Yeah.
kid through the glass. I called the whole spot because they were just, and we got light bulb. Someone got light bulbs. I told them, listen, don't inhale. Like when I have it, and you feel something on top of you, and you hear a pop, don't breathe in because the powder will hurt you.
Yeah, it's not really good. And like I said, try
Yeah,
to
you
get the
don't
dead
do it
ball.
all the time. That's the second time I've ever done it. Everybody
No, but
loved
you'll go
it.
to I bet the GCW shows where you're going through 150 to 200 tubes a night.
Oh,
They
Jesus
got
Christ.
these beds made of tubes,
Yeah, I know shit, right?
throwing you through it. And I get a lot of they try to get the tubes used or the tubes don't have the powder. I
Yeah.
know the tubes that we used were pretty much brand new. I couldn't
Yeah.
find you.
So, yeah, yeah. So, those were like legit.
So everybody just did, the safest way that they possibly could. But
Yeah.
granted, it was just the one spot. It wasn't a bunch of glass. The glass, I don't think,
No, it wasn't a
went
bunch of
across the back.
glasses. It was just us beating the piss out of each other.
Um, yeah, it was the back. It was a back. If I remember correct, it was a back spot. Anyways, it didn't go on the
Yeah.
face. No.
No, I didn't go in the face or anywhere near the face. So it was a safe spot. It was right on the back where most of it,
But
your chair shots go and all that crap.
but it was very effective.
But yeah,
It
it
was,
was. Yeah, it was.
it was effective in the fact that hold on one sec. It was effective in the fact that the fans weren't expecting something out of that.
No,
They,
they weren't. So I had to push them away. To make sure they cleared out because I didn't want them to get hit by glass or anything. Why would I want to hurt my brother? I wouldn't do it. Or the fans. Some of the fans were
no, but
showcasing.
again, it's not something that you really see on a typical.
No, you don't see all that typical shit. The whole show was awesome. We had Ray Rancid versus Shiki versus who else was there?
Yeah.
I think.
All right. This shit's getting hard, but it's good. Damn. Called Angry Beaver. Fucking shit's good.
Nice. We had a girls' match we
Yeah,
had Big Juicy.
you had Angel versus Sheik versus
Yeah,
Ray Rand.
yeah.
You had Big Juicy versus Corinne Mink. And then you had you versus TJ.
Yeah, me versus TJ versus in the painted red match.
Painted red match. And like
it was almost like a first blood. Kind of like a first blood match.
It was. And then, that was the thing. A lot of promoters were like, no to the glass. And places that I was looking at said no to the spot. And originally, honestly, the owner didn't want us using the glass indoors. So we had that outdoor spot. But then he was seeing the way the crowd was eating shit up. He was like, fuck it, just do it indoors.
Oh, yeah, he's fuck it. He pointed out, just right over here, we'll clean it up later. I want you to do it. I was like, dude, you sure? You sure? He's like, yeah, just do it. I was like, fuck, okay. So we did what he wanted. And he got a good spot, too. He ran right as soon as he saw the glass come out. He got that video out there, and it's out there, too. That video, oh, my God, it's just intense. It is. It's an intense match.
And it was a good match because people that went to it, you had a lot of locals there. They knew you and TJ are friends and brothers, and they knew that you guys gave it your all out there. They could see it in your face.
Yeah.
They could see it in your face.
Yeah.
That was a good match. I have to say, that was a good match. You had a few others after that I witnessed. Some
but the ending of the match kind of, didn't go the way people wanted.
No, the ending of the match didn't go the way it wanted, but
other than that, it was really good.
Had we had better technology at the time, it easily could have been edited into something more workable.
Yeah.
We just didn't, and everything was chaotic, and it was just like, fuck it. But it is what it is, that's wrestling. Card is subject to change. I mean, like I said, I saw you in a few other matches. I saw you in a student-teacher match. That was pretty decent. It was not brutal.
Oh, that dog collar match?
The dog collar match. That was pretty good,
Yep.
You and Tough gave a good fight. I'll give you where credit is due. It was one of his better matches, I think, too, honestly.
Yeah. Because he was listening to somebody that actually trained him originally, but whatever.
Well, I mean, I think you guys have a good chemistry when you guys wrestle because he does respect you as that trainer when you're in the ring.
Oh, yeah.
He might not respect you He might not respect you outside the ring. He might not respect you anywhere else. But when you step in those ropes, you're Rob Roberts' trainer, and he's like, "Coach, what can I do?"
Oh, yeah.
And that's just how it is. But you guys have always gave good matches when you guys fight each other because you guys do have a good chemistry.
Yeah, we do.
And that dog collar match was pretty intense as well. There was a lot of spots with that. The chain made great effect.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes. Even when I brought out when I had the rope, the whips with me and all that shit, I still have them.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, that was a really intense match too.
Yeah, it was.
And it told a good story, and honestly, it was entertaining to watch.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes some of your matches recently they're okay, but they're not. I'll be honest, they're not entertaining, and it's not your fault. You're not the one making the matches.
No.
You're not in control of that. You're going out there just doing what you're told to do.
Yep.
But like I said, you can't take away anything that you have done. I mean, like I said, you just said, 95.
Yes, I did.
In 2000, we're almost in 2025 in a year.
Yep.
You're looking at 30 years in and out of this industry.
Yep.
Knowing people, seeing people, being involved. You've watched careers come, rise, fall, go. People retire, die. You've seen it all right now.
Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
But
Unfortunately.
over at what you've done in Showcase, you've worked with some of the kids that are out there on the scene now that are the future, like BRG. You did great work with him.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I love Brett. Brett's awesome. He's a good kid.
You know,
Good. I've done work with him too. I've done work with other guys too. You know, I'm willing. I've worked with anybody. I don't care who you are.
and that's the thing. I mean, you might not be the top attraction, but again, you're the reliable attraction. You know what you're
Absolutely,
doing. You
yeah.
know you're gonna go in there and do what you got to do, and there'll be
Yep.
no nonsense involved.
No, they won't.
So you are still looking actively for bookings and starting to get
But
out
yeah,
there,
I'm trying.
do your thing.
I've been doing other things too. Living life.
Well, yeah, I mean, you've changed. You've come out of the closet, for instance. I mean, that's a
For
big
instance,
deal.
yeah, yeah.
That's a big deal. I mean, I didn't. I mean, not that it matters to me, but I didn't know anything about you. Like about that kind of thing when I first met you. But you brought it to the world's light. I think almost a year now.
Almost a year. Yep.
And I see the change in you. You're much more happy. You're not holding all this in. You're fucking who you are, who you want to be.
Absolutely. And I'm more
And
happier
every
than
day you're
ever.
cutting out more and more negativity out of your life that you
Yep.
don't want. You're making those
No.
changes.
Yeah. Oh
So I
shit.
mean, like I said, I see you having fun out there, and you go to these
Yep.
shows, and you go to the drag shows. You do whatever you want to do it, and you're
Yeah.
not you're
Oh,
not living.
speaking of, um, the ninth, there's gonna be Woonsocket Pride. We're gonna be. I'm gonna be there with the girls.
Nice.
Surprise! Yeah. So if you want to come down, be more the merrier. I'm going to Providence one too. They're working, unfortunately, but I'm going down there just to go see friends and stuff like that, to go support my friends.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Uh,
so and we're going down there to support our friends. Some of our friends are performing, and we're gonna go down there and just hang out and have a good time.
and
Not
that's
bother
what it's about,
anybody.
having a good time.
We're not out there looking for trouble. So
Well, it's not about
that,
trouble, and that's what it is.
no,
It's not about trouble. It's about, like you just said, the two things: having a good time and supporting your friends.
yeah,
Two things: support and fun. You're out there
yeah,
supporting your friends that have, doing their thing. Maybe they're performing, maybe they're whatever they're doing, and then you're gonna have some fun. You're gonna enjoy
yeah,
yourself.
absolutely. Oh yeah, absolutely. We always
You
do.
know, and that's everybody's right to go out there and support their friends and enjoy themselves.
Yeah,
People make a
absolutely.
big deal and they lose their shit because of
Who
certain
can't?
words that get used, and it's like, dude, get over it. They're just fucking words, okay?
Yeah,
Stop being afraid of everything. People are living their lives. People are, opening up about how they live their lives. And that's
yeah,
the only major difference. Nobody has changed in the world. Nobody. They're
no,
just changed of what they've told people about themselves or what they've
yeah,
let people know. Everybody before was living in closets and living
yeah,
two lives. They would have a wife and kid and then have another guy on the side they were seeing, once a month, and everything was, secretive. Now people can just live the way they want to live happy.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're not
And it
bothering you.
doesn't
Don't
matter.
bother us.
It doesn't matter where it is, but I mean, in the wrestling world, it's very, it's there.
Yeah, it's
And
there.
you see people come out, you see transgender wrestling,
Yeah, which is
intergender
cool.
wrestling, all sorts of
It's a,
things.
yeah, I like it. I think it's cool.
And it's found its home there. And
Yeah,
some people voice their opinion against it, and I'm like, you're ignorant. But for the most
yeah,
part, I
yeah.
feel
Just
like it's very
whatever.
acceptable. Because
Yeah.
first of all, I mean, let's not joke around. All joking aside, wrestling is kind of gay anyway.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah,
got
yeah, yeah. That's speaking of. It's funny. One of our friends, and she's my friend on Facebook. She's a big wrestling fan too, and she knows all of us, and she knows that we wrestle. And she had, those fans that they have,
yeah.
and it said, and on it, and it said wrestling is gay. I was like, that's
Well, I mean, I was
true.
told this a few years ago. 'Cause, I mean, first of all, I mean, if you're the wrestler, you're in there in some skimpy little tights wrestling another
Yeah,
guy in skimpy little tights. It's, a lot of meat slapping against each other. And if you're on
yeah,
the other end of it, you're the fan, you're sitting there watching two guys in two skimpy outfits
yeah,
grappling each other.
yeah, yeah.
No, either way. And then if you're like me, a fan, I sometimes buy the gear that people sell. So now I got some guy's trunks. It's like someone's like, "Well,
Yeah.
are you gay?" I'm like, "No, I'm not gay. I like wrestling." They're like, "What's the difference?" I'm like, "I don't know."
I don't know. Yeah.
You know,
It's so great though, you know.
I love it in the scene. I love everybody that's over the
Yeah, I
years
see
we've
a
had a
lot
lot of
over the years, man. It's changed in the industry. The
we've
indies
had
have changed
wrestlers
for the
though
better.
open up and come out, and it's been
Yep.
amazing seeing them transform doing so because now they can be who they want to be in ring too, and they don't
Yeah.
have those restraints. Like I said, you're a happier person now, Rob.
Thank you. Thank you. I feel I'm very happy. I'm happy to be out there. I'm pansexual. Everybody knows. I'm not afraid to say it. Before, I wasn't raised like that. Everything. And no, 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 that's bad. No, you're naughty boy. No, fuck you. You know, Whatever. It's me. Get used to it. Sorry. I'm happy. So, right there.
And everybody deserves to be happy.
Yeah. And I'm very happy. I'm very glad to be in the relationship I'm in. I'm happy. I'm just excited about new adventures in my life. You know,
You're not out there breaking any laws, doing
no,
anything
I'm not doing nothing
crazy.
illegal. There's nothing illegal about it.
And that's the thing, there's still, unfortunately, there's still ignorance in this world where people
Yeah, unfortunately,
they just
and
lump sum everything. They lump sum everything into this equals that. It's like, no, not
yeah,
necessarily even close, dude. You sound
yeah,
uneducated and stupid. I see a
yeah,
few social media posts here and there that I just have to fucking ignore because I'm about to go off on somebody. You know what I mean?
yeah,
You
yeah.
probably
I've
see
seen
some
them
of
a
them
few times.
too.
Yeah,
And
I'm like, ha ha,
I have a lot of friends that like I said, I have a lot of friends that I'll support, that I'll go to bat for.
yeah.
I won't take shit on their behalf because you know what?
No,
Fuck, they're
just
living their life
like
the
with
way they
you,
want to live it,
me,
and they're
just like
happy
with
doing it.
yeah, just like with me and you. I got your back, and I know you have mine.
Of course, if someone's gonna tell me the way you live upsets them, why? You're not doing anything to them. You're fucking
Yeah,
a
no
happier
shit.
person. Fuck you.
Yeah,
You don't like the way fucking because Rob might fucking go to a drag show. Rob might do. Who gives a fuck what Rob does, man?
yeah,
You want to attack Rob? Attack what he does in the ring. Attack him when he plays his fucking heel. Attack him like that. Don't get involved with people's stuff. And I say that to everybody that goes
yeah.
to a
I
show.
know.
Never get involved with the wrestler's fucking real life. Don't bring that shit into the arenas. You
Yeah,
know,
no shit.
there's nothing more disrespectful than that.
No, there's
Because
not.
we live in a media age, right? So a lot of us become friends with a lot of wrestlers, and a lot of us
Yeah,
interrhyme, and people get to know each other. But you don't
yeah.
use that against each other at a fucking show. There's
No,
borders and lines that should never be crossed.
yeah,
Luckily, I've never seen it. I've heard only one derogatory term once used in a wrestling show, and it happened in Maine. And I swear to God, the whole arena looked in one direction. And whoever it was, they never did it again because nobody fucking plays that way.
of course not.
But the wrestling world is one of the most opening worlds. Like I said, people don't do the shit talking at the show; they do it online. That's when it comes out. The hate comes out online. It never comes out at the show because hey, you're gonna get your ass kicked, dude. There's a dedicated, loyal fan base of wrestling fans that will kick your ass,
Hmm.
and you know that. We've seen it. Some
Yeah,
people have an old school mentality. The wrestlers will kick your ass.
yeah, pretty much.
But I do thank you for taking the time, Rob. Always a pleasure to
You
have
know
you
that
on.
anytime, brother. I'm here for you.
You know, we always have a great time having you on talking wrestling, and like I said, you're part of
Absolutely.
New England's history. You're part of the wrestling history. You
Yep.
probably have something in that museum down there that's run by Dino. At least one thing.
Well, yeah, I'm not really talking to Dino and all that.
Well, that's okay. You know what? You should at least send him one autograph photo to put in a frame and send it to him for the museum.
I
And this
don't
way,
even know if I still have it.
I'll take a picture and just sign it, frame it, send it to him for the museum. And this way, you're part of that because you are part of this New England heritage. That's what you do.
Yes, I am. Yeah. Yeah, I
There's
am.
people that come to me and they're like, "Oh shit, Rob Roberts, I remember him," and they'll pull up a match or they'll tell me about a match 15 years ago.
Yeah,
Good
I'm
friend of
still
mine
well
just
known
wrote
in
a
the
poem book.
industry.
Good friend of mine just wrote a poetry book, Rob Gladys.
Oh,
And
that girl that's friends. I know she's my friend on Facebook.
she's a big fan of yours. She was looking forward to this interview. She came on my show to promote a book and said she'd be listening out for the Rob Roberts interview. She's someone that watched you wrestle. She's from the South Shore area or the Woonsocket area there. So she's
Yeah,
seen you out there,
of course.
and she used to podcast too, and she used to get huge guests like Matt Hardy and shit. She was doing
Yeah.
big things out there.
Yeah, I know. I heard. I've seen some of her podcasts when they first started doing it. I was like, well, this girl's pretty interesting. She likes wrestling. She did have Matt Hardy because I've seen it. And there's a couple other wrestlers. I was like, shit, this is good.
So you got to give where credit's due. But yeah,
Yeah,
there's people
absolutely.
out there that still like Rob Roberts. There's people out there that still want to see you. So it's good. It's a good thing. But like I said, thanks for coming on. We'll catch
Yeah,
base.
no
I
problem,
see you
brother.
wrestle soon. I want to see you wrestle soon. I haven't seen a good Rob Roberts match in a while.
Well, the June 30th, you should come down.
Come down to the spot, huh?
Yeah,
I'll
down
come
to the
down,
spot.
I'm sure
You know
you'll get
what
a good
spot I'm
match.
talking about? Oh yeah, absolutely,
Yes.
dude. Just come down. We'll hang out. We'll talk. Okay.
Sounds good. Thank
All right,
you,
brother.
And hey, thank you everybody for watching at home. This has been a great episode of VSW Podcast. Happy to be part of the Vic Musket Podcast Network here. Gotta love it. Make sure you check out all the other podcasts too, because there's a lot of great stuff on this network.
Yes, there is. Showcase Pro Wrestling and all that. They have a lot too, so check it out.
Thank you, everybody. Versace Stoner out.